How's it going? I am once again gonna look at 5 albums from the early 2000s, basically my late teenage years. And let's see what we got. First one here is Clients by The Red Chord. The Red Chord are an American band. They formed in 1999 and they put out 4 albums between 2002 and 2009. And this is the second and most well regarded album, Clients. I'm not sure if they actually broke up, but they definitely went on hiatus for a long time. And they resurfaced pretty recently to perform at the Decibel Metal and Beer Festival, performing this album in its entirety. So this one came out in 2005 on Metal Blade. And it's grindcore, but very technical, kind of mathy. Definitely some original things thrown in. But I'm kind of more into like old school grindcore. I just want to sound kind of dirty and nasty more than precise and virtuoso. But this is still a pretty cool album. I just haven't put it on in a while. Uh, it's actually a concept album where each song is about a different client, where each person has different medical or um, personality conditions. Next up, Black Label Society, Stronger Than Death. So this is a popular band, American hard rock band. Uh, maybe metal. I'd say just very heavy rock with southern overtones. And this is their second album. Came out in 2000. So the first album, Sonic Brew, I remember I heard a lot of good things at the time about it. So I bought this one. And you know what? Like, I can't really complain about Black Label Society. The music sounds good to me, but it does kind of all sound the same. And nothing really grabs me. If I didn't mention, but we all know this already, Zakk Wylde, most famously from Ozzy over the years. He is the guitar player and singer of this band. And you can't deny his playing skills. He seems like a cool guy. But I just never found his guitar playing very memorable. Or his songwriting, for that matter. But they have about a dozen albums by this point, and I'm unfamiliar with most of them, so I'll give it a shot. I think the image, not the band, but just sometimes like the fan base. Sometimes the Black Label Society shirt just kind of tells me this guy doesn't really know his metal. Maybe that's not fair, but just kind of encountered that a lot over the years. But again, the first 2 Black Label Society albums, I quite like them. And it could be a fun show, maybe one day. Okay, what next? Here's kind of an odd album. This is a 3-way split between Corrupted, Discordance Axis, and 354. This came out, I think it was 2001. It says HG Fact. It's a Japanese label. So Discordance Axis are a pretty well known, but now broken up American grindcore band. Corrupted are kind of closer to a Funeral Doom style. And 324, 324. I actually know nothing about them outside of this release here, but they're kind of more of a death metal grind thing. So I was a big Discordance Axis fan, and I think Corrupted's pretty cool too, so that's what made me bought this. I don't know where I got this. It was really cheap though. I think it might have been Sonic Boom, downtown Toronto. $60-Watt Shaman. This is called Reason to Live. And they're an American hard rock, southern rock, stoner rock band, bordering on metal. And this is another one I got pretty cheap. This is on Spitfire, put out in 2002. And so it looks like they put out 3 albums, and this was the most recent one up to this point, but I don't think the band ever broke up. It seems like within the last several years they've been out there playing live. But this is something special, but I thought it was pretty cool. I like this one. I can't remember the tracks that stood out to me, but I think it might have been the first one, Nomad. Finally, The Haunted Made Me Do It by The Haunted. The Haunted are a Swedish band that formed in 1996 out of the ashes of At the Gates when they first broke up. This was on Earache in 2000. So the debut album, the self-titled one, that was, I think, still the best thing they've ever put out. Peter, the original vocalist, I preferred him to the vocalist that would come on this album. But I think Peter, I'm not too familiar with later Haunted material, but I think Peter did rejoin the band somewhere down the way and then left again. But we're talking thrash metal with a death metal influence with some more accessible, groovy parts, which I'm not a big fan of. But this is a solid release, and the first album is awesome. So that's it. 5 albums from the early 2000s. I'll see you next time.